Hello, Sean Newton here at the Warehouse of Doom, and this is not really much of a electronics or anything bit. This is actually on a common household problem that one gets. This is a regular household key, and as you can see, it is rather bent. This is what happens when you have small children that, for whatever reason, think that hanging on keys to open doors is somehow useful. Maybe they're trying to turn them, I don't know. But either way, I've got these keys that are bent. So what we have here is a regular arbor press machine. Thing to be aware of is generally these keys are brass. This metal does get brittle as it's worked. Bending it back in shape does not actually somehow strengthen the key or put it back to its original condition. The key is still damaged, it is still weaker, and eventually it's going to break. So you definitely want to make sure you get copies. But if you have small children that are going to still keep doing this to keys, you might as well keep using the key until it breaks. And in some cases, maybe that means you want to straighten it out. So the thing about these arbor presses is that they provide you with a way to multiply the force you're putting into it. So I'm going to position this so that it's vertical, or actually, yeah, about like that is going to be good. So notice we've got these jaws on the chuck that go onto the teeth on the back of this little arm here. This, I think, is a 1-ton press. If I were trying to super press anything, I would probably be reaching for my hydraulic press over there. I got one that'll do 20 tons. So anyway, we start off with the ram in contact with the flat part here because we are going to be using the ram and the flat like a hammer and anvil to straighten this out. So we just bring it up like so. And we make sure it's perfectly flat. That means that the little ring here needs to be in one of the grooves of the flat, or no, the piece here. I don't know what you call this disc with the holes in it, but I'm using one of the holes to put the metal ring into so that the key is lying perfectly flat before I go pressing on this. Now, brass is a soft metal. And by the way, typically people will go ahead and they will bolt these things down to a table. I haven't done so because I kind of like being able to move mine around. Anyway, as you can see in the close-up video here, this is actually pretty flat now. It's not perfectly flat, but it's a lot better than it was when I started. This is not a way to achieve perfection, but it is a way to maybe reduce the amount of bend and get a little bit more life out of a key that has been damaged by the children. Okay, so there we go, and you can, just for good measure, if you want to, you can also hit it on the other side too. Won't really make much of a difference to the overall flatness of the key, but you can see that the keys aren't perfect, but they are a lot straighter than they were when I first started this, and we haven't really done any further damage to the keys that the children haven't already done. So anyway, that's just a quick little bit on straightening keys. Now, one thing you can always do, of course, is you can get it all clamped in here, or you take a vise and you can take a hammer and tap it a little bit. That is definitely going to cause additional damage and stress to the brass, so I wouldn't recommend it. But, you know, undoing a large bend like that, or at least reducing it, it's not going to do that much damage to the key. But definitely make sure you have copies of keys that this has happened to, because like I say, I don't know how many times I've said it, brass does get weak and brittle and eventually cracks. Anyway, have a good day. I'm out of here.